Well, here it is, Monday, almost 80 degrees in Phoenix at the moment, the November 7th, 2022, and thank you for joining us for Bible Bits. You know, there was this pastor in New York, where I grew up when I was a kid, and unfortunately I never got to his church or knew him personally, but he's very fascinating as to what he says. Some of you may know him, Pastor Tim Keller, Redeemer Presbyterian, New York. I believe, he was pastor up till about a few years ago, 2017. And today, we're going to discover and talk about worship. Now, he says in worship, it engages the entire mind, will, and emotion. Every single part of your person is engaged. Now, worship takes your belief, whatever you heard in sermon or word, and brings it down into the heart, your heart. So it drives it down. So what is the factors that does it? It's partly the music, partly the singing, but we're going to go to Tim and do this in reverse order. This is based on Psalm 95 from David the psalmist. And again, I find Tim very fascinating as to how he teaches, but what he says makes a lot of sense. Here we go. Let's see. I was just there, and I was just there. There we go.
The word worship comes from the Old English word, well, it's a phrase, worth shape.
Worth shape.
To be shaped by the worth of something. That's what worship is. It's to look at something and saying, that is so valuable, that is so important. If I have that, then I'm worth something. You're being shaped by the worth of something. And everybody's doing that. And if you say, boy, if I could just achieve that, boy, then I feel like my life was worth something, I was worth something. That's worship. You're looking at that thing is your God, basically. You're worshiping it. You're being shaped by the worth of it. And everybody's got something that you feel like is worth more than anything else. The pearl of great price in your life. Everybody's got that.
Almost
Everybody's
every time
got
I
that.
get to the gospel.
Everybody's got that. Sorry about that. I'll switch into right comfort there. I didn't mean to do that.
First.
So we either worship God or we worship things that we ascribe to things of value to ourselves. And that could be anything. Could be your girlfriend. Could be the job you have, the money you make. Could be your collection of things. But let's go to the very part where David tells us where worship begins in Psalm 95.
Christian practice, the first of the spiritual disciplines, and that is worship. And we're looking at Psalm 95, which is called the Venite. It's very famous because in Latin, Venite is the first word. It's O come. And it's probably...
Now think about that. Venite in Spanish, the word is venir, come, but it doesn't say singular. It doesn't say come let me worship. It says come let us worship. Plural. So you're in a context of a congregation worshiping.
Not only reputedly, but I also think in reality, the best single place in the Bible to go to understand what worship is all about. And when we ask the question, what do we learn about worship? Of this psalm, we're going to learn three things. Worship, why we should, what it is, and how it's done. Why?
Now Tim will expound on that later, and we'll get into that, but he also notes to us the difference of the Christian off the street and the worldly person. Not all that much. That in fact, the inconsistency of a Christian can bring that person to more of being a hypocrite. And so he speaks of those things, and let's get further into it. Here we go.
Worship is ascribing ultimate value. Ascribing an ultimate value to an object and engaging your mind, your heart, and your will, the whole being as you do it. Using your entire person to ascribe ultimate value to some object, that is worship.
It totally consumes you, is what he's saying. And then finally, we'll close out today's session with this thought.
The first two commandments, the 10 commandments, cover all of life. And the first two commandments, the most foundational commandments, are about worship. And the first commandment actually says, God says, you must worship me rather than something else. That's the first commandment. You must worship me rather than something else. Notice, God holds out no possibility that you're worshiping nothing.
Forgiving
See,
someone who
we
is
are all made to worship. And that's the thing. God knows us better than we know ourselves. And so that's why he made those commandments, because if we get distracted from our Creator to the created, well, then our attention has gone awry, and we've gone awry. We don't give God his proper worthship as we worship, because it is he that has made us. For everything he made is beautiful, but it is for him that we worship. So, that is today's Bible bit. Please leave your comments below. Thank you for joining us. And hit subscribe. Tell a friend, we miss you. Don't miss us. Come see us daily. Thank you.